Hi everyone and welcome back. Sorry, I had to go on another temporary hiatus after the last video I uploaded in October. Yeah, it's a bit ironic it happened again around this time of the year, but don't fret, it wasn't due to any emotionally traumatic events this time. Just a case of being very busy and very clumsy. Cause you know, why get straight back into making content again when I can slip on some mossy concrete in our carport and slice my fingers trying to brace myself on our barbecue instead. Cause you know, my luck, it happened to be my dominant art hand that got fecked up. Yeah. As to the busy part, this year I decided to take on OC-tober, cause there was no way I was going to tackle a certain ink-centric challenge after the plagiarism garbage that happened. And I wasn't the only artist who refused to give the curator any more free publicity and traffic this year. For those that don't know about OC-tober, it's a month of art prompts dedicated to helping you develop your original characters. It kind of encourages you to develop your character design skills over a month and expand the lore around them. And as far as I could see, there isn't really one main account you could go to for a universal prompt list, so Caitlin McCaig and I decided to make our own and encourage each other to finish the full month of prompts. Because you know, sometimes you just need a little emotional support to get through 31 straight days of art creation. Funnily enough, I ended up working with a character I created thanks to a snow prompt I did last October. But I'm getting way off topic here. You guys came here to see a Pokemon get redesigned, and instead you're getting a story about my first OC-tober experience. Well, if you are interested in hearing about my original character Snow and the lore and cast I developed for her universe, please leave a comment below or tap that like button to let me know. I can make a pseudo digital sketchbook tour and possibly dive into my process featuring the story and work that I created, if you guys would be interested. But you guys gotta let me know, or otherwise I'll just move on. But otherwise you can see all the work I created for it on my Twitter at Trixks Illustrator, linked in the description below, or on my channel homepage. Alright, now for the content you actually tapped the thumbnail for. Here we are, just like I promised in my Alolan Persian redesign video. I'm finally going to create my take on the latest generation and regional variant of Meowth and Persian from Galar. Those of you who have played Sword and Shield will no doubt have come across this interesting creature in your travels. I honestly thought the Alolan Persian was a weird choice, but the Galarian variant known as Perrserker definitely takes the cake. Honestly, when I saw the Galarian Meowth, I was a bit apprehensive about it. A big poofy and long-clawed cat with a sneering, toothy grin. I thought, okay, bit of an interesting choice. But then someone turned his 3D model around and revealed it ain't a poofy cat. It's a cat with a frickin' beard. And that just made the design so much more creepy to me. Especially because it looks like a totally normal Meowth from behind, but now it has a chunky fur-covered bag plastered to its face. And to then have it evolve, not into a Persian cat, but into a horned troll. No, just all kinds of no. This Pokemon screamed at me even louder to redesign than the blue cat that obviously had an allergic reaction to their face getting stung by a bee. So here I am breaking down what I could make out from the appearance of the original design and a quick Wikipedia search that the aim was originally to create a more Viking-inspired creature. Wiki theorizes due to their appearance and the Sword Pokédex entry that references as savage seafaring people that the Galarian Meowth supposedly accompanied, that the regional design is very loosely based on the Norwegian forest cat breed. A large fluffy cat with beard-like neck ruffs whose ancestors are presumed to have been kept on Viking ships. Ironically, another big fluffy cat, like the one I used as inspiration for my Alolan Persian redesign. A pretty good looking breed if you ask me, and we ended up with a rabid, fat looking Meowth and a goblin Perrserker. Why do they insist on making their new Persian variant so goofy? The original was so sleek and regal. I know they don't want to keep things too samesies, cause then you'll have people asking, well, why bother? But I think this is an example of a left field design just not working. Concept was all there, a Viking companion steel type cat. Perfect. Sounds butch and badass. But instead I just want to take a pair of scissors to that beard and hide the Perrserker under a bridge with all the other trolls. Okay, need to tone down the Galarian design bashing a little. I don't know what it is about this design that gets me so riled up, but here I am. While my original plan was to redesign both Meowth and Persian for Galar in today's video, I ultimately decided that the ideas I had for Meowth didn't really warrant a full-on redesign. All I'd end up doing is trimming the beard and replacing it with a fluffy pointed neck collar, and it would look so much less awkward. It would actually look a bit more loyal to the Norwegian breed origin in that way, I think. And with the evolved form I started to sketch down that started to develop in my head, the bearded ruff reference would still be featured, just in a more stylized and streamlined way. Less humanoid and more feline. From there, I gathered a handful of references of the cat breed, some Viking armor and helms, the original Galar designs, as well as a few steel-type Pokemon to help inspire my new direction. Keeping things rough in the start, I played around with the spiked and sharp form elements that I could see featured a lot in the steel Pokemon type. I was originally very inspired by the Pokemon Sun legendary. Now, you'll have to forgive me, I'm not really familiar with the name. Solgaleo. Solgaleo? I hope I'm saying that name right. As a fellow steel-type feline, I found his design a lot more appealing to emulate. Muscular with a nice balance of nature and ornamental. But as I got further into laying down the design, I felt like I was doing more of a Pokemon fusion of Persian and Solgaleo rather than making a redesign. So I scrapped the initial headpiece I was working with, and ultimately decided on something more obviously armored and Viking inspired. From there, with a quick glance at some of the examples of feral cat armor I found, I liked the idea of carrying his horned and plated accessories down his back, and fully replacing his tail to turn it more into a dangerous weapon. Think of Steelix and his iron tail. I wanted something that could do some serious damage, that would probably make a Viking proud to have this Persian as their companion in battle. Just slip this Pokemon into Assassin's Creed Valhalla. He'd be right at home, don't you think? My Galarian Persian, I think, ultimately ended up emulating a bit of Armored Dragon with the side of Houndour. Just that little bit more otherworldly, so it's not really a cat that you'd mistake for something more realistic. And to really push that concept forward and enforce the Viking-like warrior connection, I was inspired by an environment in God of War of all things. The fog that seeps through the red leaf trees over a rich yellow and green grass path. I felt that that mood was perfect to have my wild Persian appear in that type of environment. I had to dust a lot of cobwebs from my environmental painting muscles. It's definitely been a while. When it came to deciding the color for the redesign, I did stumble a little with the armor, as I wanted to bring the original Perrserker colors over, but keep a visually interesting level of contrast in the palette. With the layered and sectioned nature of the helm, I didn't want it all just one color. There needed to be a color break to help highlight the helm sections, but also keep the horns and gem from blending in like on the original Pokemon design. I intended for majority of the helm to be the darker grey that was used, so I could make the eye color pop as well. And from there I was inspired by one of my Viking helm references to make the horns and gem be gold, to regal things up a little bit, while also keeping a good balance of contrast in a more natural look that worked on the original. Cause yes, while I hate the design, I can appreciate the balance of its colors. So what do you guys think of my new Persian? What do you prefer more, my purebred Alolan or Viking warrior Galarian Persian redesign? Sound off in the comments below, along with any Pokemon you'd like to see me redesign in the future and why you think they deserve a makeover. I'm looking forward to keeping this series going and working on my creature design skills along the way.
Thanks for watching everyone. If you liked this video, be sure to tap that like button, share it, or leave a comment below. If you have a couple coins to spare, please consider pledging to my Patreon, which directly funds my channel and art projects in exchange for a range of exclusive rewards. Every little bit helps, and anything is greatly appreciated. Until next time, see ya!